Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Times of Ummah. Today's first news update is coming from Palestine, where huge violence against Palestinians still continued and 53 Palestinians, including 14 children, have been also killed and over 300 have been wounded. Their viewers, local sources said Israeli fighters' jets bombed sites belonging to Palestinian armed groups in addition to security and police buildings. In Gaza City Tel Al-Hawa neighborhood, a pregnant woman, Rima Tilbani, and her child were killed by a Palestinian attack on their home. The Israeli army has said at least 6 Israelis have been killed. It added about 1,500 rockets have been fired from Gaza towards various locations in Israel, and they have added reinforcement near the enclave's eastern lands. A spokesman of Al-Quds Brigade has said 3 of its commanders were killed by Israeli air raids in the Gaza strips on Monday. We will continue to respond to Israel's aggression. He said we will not back down on our resistance no matter what its price. The UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has also called on Israel and Palestinians to end the violence. He wrote on Twitter, "The UK is deeply concerned by the growing violence and the civilian casualties, and we want to see an urgent de-escalation of tensions." Now the big update is coming from Turkey, where Turkish president have discussed the issue with Russian president, and maybe they will help the Palestinian. And Turkey has said Ankara seeks international action against Israel because now the both sides has said we will retaliate, and the Hamas specially launched 1,500 rockets, which indicates the Hamas and Palestinian anger to Israel. We hope so-called Ummati Muslima will now take serious steps against Israel. Today's second news update is coming from Ukraine, where the head of the Ukraine State Security Service has said Russia still has about 100,000 soldiers deployed near its western border with Ukraine and an annexed Crimea dispute, Moscow announcing a military pullback last month amid soaring tensions with Kyiv. Dear viewers, last month tensions between Ukraine and Russia erupted when Russia deployed large number of its troops near the Ukraine border. Some experts were also stated that Russia wants to invade Ukraine, but after facing warning from United States, European Union and NATO, they said we are pulling back our forces. But later the Ukraine president has accused Russia of having failed to fully withdraw military hardware and troops for the border areas following the two countries' standoff. And Russia had not publicly shown any number of troops they had moved to borders, but a European Union diplomat in April put the figure and said it was more than 100,000. NATO and the United States, the leading member of the Transatlantic Security Alliance, meanwhile said the buildup was Russia's largest since it undertook the annexation of Crimea. But Moscow defended the troops' movement, saying they were part of a training exercise, called in response to activity by NATO and Ukraine, which is an ally of group but not a formal member. After weeks of unrest on the Ukraine border, Russia ordered pulling out some troops, but it did not disclose the actual number. Russia ordered its forces back when Alexei Navalny's protests started once again and thousands of people came to streets. The United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken last week said Washington could increase security assistance for Ukraine after he called Russia's reckless and aggressive actions in massing troops near the Ukrainian border. During a visit to Kyiv, Blinken said Russia had left behind significant quantities of soldiers and equipment despite announcing the withdrawal of its forces from the area. Blinken also said United States President Joe Biden was keen to visit Ukraine and meet Zelensky, but gave no details on that or on Washington's view of Ukraine's aspiration of joining the NATO military alliance. Today's third news update is coming from India, where deaths from coronavirus has surpassed 250,000 and 4,205 deaths recorded in the past 24 hours. Daily new infections from coronavirus recording around about 350,000, and the total number of coronavirus cases in India has reached 23 million. According to experts, the actual number could be much higher, and actual deaths and infections could be 5 to 10 times more higher than it. And you should also know that Indian media is under the control of Modi government and can't report the actual number. And now also no one can say that India reached its peak or not, but India have to prepare for anything. This time India has left control over the deaths, and the most sad news comes from India, where at least 71 dead bodies were found floating down in the river eastern India's Bihar state, with authorities saying they have not yet determined the cause of death. Authorities performed post-mortems on Tuesday but said they could not confirm the cause of the death due to the deposition of the bodies. More corpses were found floating in the river on Tuesday, washing up in Ghazipur districts in neighbor Uttar Pradesh state. Police and villagers were at the site about 50 kilometers from Monday's incident. So you can imagine what the India situation is, what India facing, be aware of it. But India media never took it serious to show the world what is the actual number. Dear viewers, if you want to watch top 3 news of the day, please subscribe Times Up Ummah.